So next we're going to have a look in a bit more detail at Octavian and the second triumvirate. Particularly, we're going to have an introduction here to this character, Octavian, one of the winner of this story, but also one of the most unpleasant individuals in Roman history. And I recall the key facts of his early life, understand the reasons for his seemingly unlikely success. Augustus, Caesar, also names for him, Agrippa, ambition, ruthless, mafia, triumvirate, propaganda, victors. So, family background. He's from the Julii family. He's from Julius Caesar's family, but an obscure branch of it. Born in 63 BC. Nobody expects anything great of him. He's going to be a Roman aristocrat. But it all changes in 44 BC when Octavian is 19 years of age. Julius Caesar is assassinated, as you know. When his will is read, it turns out he has named Octavian as his adopted son and heir, as in fact his great nephew. Under Roman law, you have to name a male, the closest male relative, as your heir. And that turns out to be Octavian because Caesar didn't have any Roman sons. He's got Caesarion, but Caesarion is born to an Egyptian mother, therefore isn't a Roman. So this lad, at age 19, is named as his heir. Throughout his life, he has a variety of names. He's best known as Augustus, the very first emperor. Like I say, this lad's going to win this war, this whole thing, and he's going to end up as the first emperor of Rome. But it's a long way off at this point. Before he's called Augustus, for most of his life, he's referred to as Gaius Julius Caesar. When Julius Caesar dies, he immediately takes his name. His full name is Gaius Julius Caesar Divi Filius. In his lifetime, he wasn't called Octavian. He was referred to usually as Caesar, because he immediately took Caesar's name. Right, the main bit here. What's he like? So he's very young, especially by Roman standards, when he becomes a big player in the Roman scene. When Caesar dies, he heads to Italy, quickly discovers that he can gain the trust and the loyalty of Caesar's army, just based on the name, really, and decides and he shows enormous ambition for such a young age. He should just step aside and let some older, more experienced man take over, but he doesn't. He goes for it. He has incredible ambition for one so young. He decides to become a major player, become Caesar's heir, and right from the start, looks like he wants to pretty much, if he can, rule the Roman Empire. So he's extremely ambitious. He's also extremely ruthless. He has no problems having people bumped off. He has no problem with doing whatever it takes in order for him to get his way. Very, very ruthless. Often compared to a mafia leader, especially later on once he becomes the ruler of the Roman Empire. He's not a very nice person. And weirdly, he's no soldier. Several times during this war, he misses battles because he's supposedly sick. Lots of people think he's in fact just too afraid. So he may well be a physical coward. He's certainly no general. But as part of his success, allied to his ambition and his ruthlessness, he's extremely clever. He realizes, I'm no soldier, so I better find somebody who is. He has a friend from boyhood, a man called Agrippa, who is a very, very capable military leader and doesn't appear to have any personal ambition. So Octavian Caesar, really relies on Agrippa to do the fighting for him, to do the leading of the armies and the navies for him. It's a fantastic result for Octavian to have this guy around, and he sees it in him. He sees it. He's trustworthy and he's very capable. The important bit here, really, for Octavian, for what we're doing in our GCSE course, is his impact on the Cleopatra story. all of the sources we read were written either during the time of Augustus as emperor or afterwards. So he is the victor. He writes the history. Nobody dares write anything against him. He always looks good. Cleopatra and Mark Antony, especially Cleopatra, always look bad because nobody, none of these scribes sitting in a room in Rome during the reign of Augustus would have dared to write anything against Augustus. He had decided that when history was written, he was going to be the hero, Antony was going to be the fool, and Cleopatra was going to be the villain. So that's quite possibly why the stories we read, why Plutarch writes the way he does.